We are two longtime friends who are sitting down to have honest conversation about what it's like to be in midlife, from identity shifts to relationships, reinvention, and everything in between. We'll be sharing our own stories and also talking to inspiring guests who inspire us to share this chapter fully. So grab a cup of whatever you love and join us.
Hi, friends. I'm Tina.
I'm Manel, and welcome to the Midlife Tea.
This is our very first podcast, and we're so excited you're here to join us. Today, we're going to be talking about when we realized we were in midlife and what a great gift that's ended up to be.
So, Tina, tell me, when did you realize you were in midlife?
For me, it was when my children left home, and it was just so quiet in the house. I was a stay-at-home mum, and it wasn't just a physical silence, it was a real emotional silence as well. And that's when it really hit me that this is a new stage that I was coming into. And also, when I was having conversations with girlfriends, I noticed that our conversations were changing. The topics were changing. We were starting to talk about hormones and aches and pains, so many aches and pains we were all having. We were talking about, how to support our adult children, at the same time trying to support our aging parents, the sandwich generation as they call us. And also relationship changes, as we get older, our relationship changes.
Yeah, I think for me, it was when we dropped off my youngest daughter. I have four girls, and with the excitement of leading up to, going off to school, I had been dreading, she's sort of like my little best friend and everything like that, but it's just nothing really kind of like anything major. We dropped her off. We come back that weekend. Everybody else, her older sisters, everybody went to their, back to their jobs and schools, and I felt alone. My husband had travels for work, so he had flown off, and I was in deafening silence at home. There was nobody there except the dog and myself, and an empty house, and me in my head going, "Where am I going to go now? What am I going to do? What now? Where did I end as a mother?" And for me, it was a feeling like that my job had ended. Like somebody just fired me, basically.
Right.
I woke up one day, and after almost 30 years, you're fired. You're done. You're not needed anymore. How am I going to start?
Right. Was that a specific moment for you? Is there a moment, a day, a time,
Well, it was
anything
that particular weekend. I don't know why it just keeps coming back to me. That weekend, it's just that deafening silence, like you said. It was just like I am alone, and I have nobody. Obviously, I have friends, I have family, I have my children, my husband. It's just you. It's in retrospect, like you go in and you dig inside yourself, and you're saying, I had never thought of this day, and I did not prepare for it. That was basically what I thought. I
Right.
did not prepare for this day. What do I do now? How do I move on? How do I start? Who am I?
Right.
I don't know who I am. I was 20 something when I got married. I had children. I left a career to be a stay-at-home mom, and I did everything, taking them out to their sports, driving them to schools, driving them to events, play dates, and it was just always on the go. And then stop. That was it.
Yeah. And it's a deafening silence too,
It
isn't
is.
it? I know. I remember for me, it was waking up one morning after my youngest had gone off to college, and I realized I didn't have anything to do. And I had been so heavily scheduled for 20 years, morning to night, like you said, with kids' sports and drop offs at school and pickups. And, even my weekends, we were always traveling for sports. So that was when it really hit me as well. And like you said, I knew who Tina was at 20 and all the interests and things that I love to do. I knew who Tina was as a mom. I knew who Tina was as a wife. But suddenly I got to the stage and the house was empty and I didn't know who I was anymore.
Mhm.
Who's Tina in her 50s? what do I even enjoy doing anymore? The things I enjoy now are very different to the things I enjoyed in my 20s when I didn't have children. So that was a real awakening for me, is I have to really figure out what I want going forward in the next chapter. You know, I didn't want to settle. I didn't want it to just to be hum-ha for the rest of my life. I had to figure out, do I want to work? You know, do I want to start a business? Am I happy just being at home and doing nothing? You know, I had to really look inward and think about what I wanted next.
So, like you were reflecting on your like yourself as a younger person, but not looking at yourself at the present time right now. So, what was the first action that you decided to take?
So the first action I took is I used to love acting when I was young and was in all the school plays, all the school musicals. And it was something I always wanted to do. And then, you know, life happens. Got married, I had children, and what I wanted to do was sort of put on the back burner. So when I went through this awakening, as we'll call it, and really realized that I needed to make changes in my life, if I didn't want to just settle, I had to think about, well, what do I enjoy? What did I used to enjoy? Maybe do I still enjoy that? So one of the things was acting for me. So I called a girlfriend, and her son is an actor, and I said, where do I start? And she's like, start with an acting class. And she gave me a couple of schools. So I signed up. And so every week I get on the train by myself and I go to the city and I do an acting class. And it was fabulous because going in, I thought, oh, it's going to be all these 20-year-olds, these fabulous, talented 20-year-olds, and I'm going to sort of be the old lady in the back they're all chuckling at. So I was very, very nervous. And it is such a diverse group of people with everyone having different reasonings for being in this class and such different ages and different nationalities. And so it was fabulous because everything I feared and was worried about going in didn't happen, you know, and that was a
And
big thing for me.
and had you stuck with that fear, you would have never taken that first step, too.
Exactly. And it was amazing how many people, when I said I was going to do it, said, couldn't believe I was doing it alone. Are
They're
you going to
shocked.
the city and doing it alone?
Oh my
I'm like,
God. Yeah.
yes.
Shock.
Yes, it's
The
all
shock
about
factor.
me.
It's, yes, exactly. You've done everything for everybody else.
Right.
The same thing. It's like for me, I turned to learning, I guess, education. I just needed to fill my time, fill the gap. And I've always loved health and wellness. And I decided to dive right into it. I've been doing it for over 10 years. My children have health issues and dietary issues. So I've been in and out of like learning a lot of things. So I decided to do it kind of like full time. And I loved it so much. I got my health and wellness coaching license. So I really, really, really enjoy just the learning aspect of it. For me, I don't want to feel like I'm dormant. I was put on a shelf. I just need to keep growing. And that's how I felt like that was the only thing that was going to get me out of that somber mood
Right.
was to keep growing, just keep moving forward, taking one step at a time. So, I mean, hopefully it's exciting and it's a new thing and I want to start growing it with clients and everything and help family members. I do, I put together like herbs and stuff like that. And my dear friend, I'm trying to push you to being a little healthier.
Trying. It's
Yes.
I like I said, baby steps.
Baby steps, baby steps. But it is something that I did for myself, and I thoroughly, thoroughly, really enjoyed just the process of just getting out there and seeing what I can do. I still can do a lot, you know.
Right.
It's just
exciting.
it is exciting.
But
It
what
is.
felt the heaviest for you? Like when you were thinking about, okay, I'm going to go and do this, was there anything that was sort of holding you down?
The fact that I might fail,
Right.
and I think that was that was the hesitant moment. And when I realized that, okay, so I fail, and I could just move on to something else. I could try, but if I don't try, in my mind, I'm going to keep thinking, what if? What if I had done that? I would have been at a different place, at a different level. So I think that once I got over the fear of failure, I think that's the biggest deterrent for most people is that fear of like not making it or doing it. But I think actually it's a gift because if you fail, you just keep trying something else. It's sort of like an exciting mission that I'm going to prove to myself that I am worthy. I can do this. Like, what about you? Like, were you afraid?
Definitely. For me, it was fear of failure, fear of rejection. And also, it was, I didn't know where to start. That was the big thing for me. It's taking the time to really learn where you want to start and how do you start.
Yes.
And that was a huge thing for me, like really taking the time to think, what do I want? What interests me? I'd forgotten a lot of those things. And my interests now, too, are very different to when I was 20.
Yes, definitely.
So it was number one, it was figuring that out. Number two, then figuring out how I was going to do those things and take the steps and to do them confidently without being scared, without being, feeling I was going to fail or, fear of rejection.
I think it's natural to be afraid, but it's just the initial step, just to be able to take that first step. I think it doesn't come overnight. I mean, we're still in the process of just learning, but I think it's just that initial step that you need to take to start.
And I think the nice thing for us at this age is that compared to women who are younger, is that we have the freedom and the confidence.
Yes.
We're not starting careers. We don't have young children around our feet the whole time, every minute of the day wanting mum. So the nice thing is compared to the younger woman, I find I'm so much more confident. I don't care anymore.
No, not at all.
That's the biggest thing. I don't care what people think anymore. I really cared when I was 20.
Yes,
And
you do.
that's a wonderful gift that you get at the midlife is that you gain the confidence and you don't care as much, what people think. And I think that's so wonderful that we have this at this age compared to the younger woman.
I think it's at this stage, we feel like we can do anything. We can do anything because, like you said, that we have that freedom. We don't have the obligations are less. It's not like we don't have we still have our children, we have our family, we have our homes, but the obligations on us are less. I mean, anybody, whether you have children or not, if you're married, that's your husband's your first child anyway. But the obligations, that's what I say. But your obligations are less. So you have more time to reflect on yourself. And in reflecting, you at this stage of life, you reinvent yourself.
Yes.
It's a reinvention.
It's almost like adolescence again, isn't it?
It's a discovery.
Yes.
It's like rediscovering who you are in this person. And you're like, wow, I didn't even know that person was either still in there or that person exists even.
Right. Isn't that exciting?
Yeah, it is. I think it really is.
It's
a lot of
definitely
fun.
the gift of midlife,
It's the confidence too.
Yeah.
So if somebody out there is listening and they're just starting or realizing they're in midlife or they don't know they're in midlife, what do you suggest? So how should they start the first steps and what should they ask themselves?
I think the first thing is realizing that you're not going to change your life in a week.
Right.
And not to put that pressure on yourself, to take the time to really think about who you are, where you are, and what you want. So there's a few questions I know that I ask myself. Number one is, where am I settling?
Mm-hmm.
What in life am I settling for?
Exactly.
Number two, what do I want more of?
Yeah, something is good. You want to keep it going.
Right,
Yes.
right. What do I want more of? Number three, and this was a big one, what drains me? And really taking the time to think about what is holding me down, whether it be physical or emotional. What is holding me down and holding me back?
Yes. That's important.
Right.
Definitely.
And number four, this was the biggest one for me. if I wasn't afraid, what would I try? And I think, for me, I had so much, even though I'm more confident, definitely more confident than I was when I was younger, I still had worries at this age about fear of, like I said, fear of rejection, fear of failure. So it was really putting those thoughts out of my head and thinking, if I didn't have those fears, what would I try?
Mhm. Really good. That's really good.
At 50, we're not guessing anymore. Okay?
Right.
We know what we want. We know what we don't want. And that is just, so powerful. People really underestimate that, and
Yep.
just remember that confidence doesn't come first, action does. So start the
Take
action.
that first step.
Confidence will come.
Take that first step.
Right.
And do you know what's wild? The fastest growing group of entrepreneurs are between ages of 35 and 65, which is classified in midlife.
Now, that's one thing I never realized. I always thought midlife was kind of menopause time, starts in your 50s.
Yes.
But they actually classify midlife as aged 35 to 65.
Yes.
Which that is the biggest demographic.
It's almost 63%
I know,
of women in the United
63.
States. That's a lot.
That's insane.
Anybody that's gearing things for people that are gear it for us, because
It's the largest demographic.
The largest demographic. It's insane. 63%.
But at the same time, I feel it's the most underlooked.
Yes, misunderstood. I think people.
Right.
It's because of the whole stigma of aging.
Right. And because I feel like, okay, I'm more confident, but I'm a little more invisible at this age than I was in my 20s.
Yes. Yes, exactly. And people just don't, they kind of like underestimate us, and they don't think that we are worthy of anything new, learning anything new. And it's actually the total opposite, because as you learn, as you enrich your knowledge of things, we have something called neuroplasticity. Our brains are remarkable. So at any age, it's like that old fallacy of, you can't teach an old dog new tricks. Well, you can. You can teach an old woman a new trick, because the more you learn, the more the brain expands and the more it learns. So that is false.
Right.
That is totally false. So
That's interesting.
It really is amazing that people underestimate what they can do at this age. And it's so sad.
Right. Well, I think too, a lot of us are dealing with hormones, and our memories,
And that's the problem.
aren't as good as they were in their 20s. And so we start to sort of doubt.
Exactly. And that's our biggest problem. It's that doubt that we put in. We put our chains, we chain ourselves. It's not society, but we assist society to do that. That doubt is our biggest failure. That's our biggest hindrance in life.
Very true. Very true. So look, friends, thanks for joining us today. And we are so excited you joined in the chat. So next time we meet, we're going to be talking about health and wellness, and also depression at this stage in midlife.
Please don't forget to subscribe to our channel so you can be notified when our next episode's coming in. And tell your friends. We look forward to seeing you again.
See you soon.